Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am sorry I went on a little break there. I will explain it down below in the comments, but I cannot believe that it is October and October is my jam. It is my birthday month and Halloween is going to be around the corner. I know that Halloween might be canceled for a lot of people this year, but you know, I am optimistic and hopeful because there's always small little creative things that I can try to make up for it, and one of the big ones is definitely dressing up even if there's nowhere to go. I have a little toddler girl and I just know that once she gets older, dress up is going to be a huge part of her life. A couple of weeks ago, I did ask Rudy what she wanted to be, and she was debating between a lion or a princess, but she landed on being a princess. And so instead of buying like just a generic princess dress, I wanted to custom make a princess dress for her. Instead of buying new materials, I would go thrifting and find something that I can deconstruct and then reconstruct into a dress. So because this is a princess dress, I need something with a little bit of body to it. So luckily I was able to find this dress that was in the women's section, and I figured that I can use some of the gemstones as the embellishments to her princess dress, and then I can use the skirt at the bottom to be a part of the princess skirt. Okay, so the dress is made of like a taffeta-like fabric, so it gives me the body that I need to create a little bit of volume. The cool thing about the dress is that underneath there is a layer of tulle and also a lining layer, so I don't have to worry about buying fabric for those two items. So the dress was originally $11.99, but because it was half off for any green tags, I only spent $6 on this dress. So next up is the silk skirt. So originally this skirt was $8.99, and again it was half off on the yellow tags as well that day. So I spent $4.50 on this skirt. So I was originally going to do kind of like a Victorian Rococo looking kind of dress, and to do that I would need a lot of embellishments and embroidery, and so I figured that if I get this top and I cut it up, then maybe I can kind of use some of the cool florals and foliage that's on this thing. This top was originally $3.99, and again green tag, so it's only $2. Okay, so here's a quick tip. If you buy thrifted clothing and you notice there's like kind of like a smell, because sometimes there is. So what you should do is you should just soak the clothes for about 30 minutes in your laundry if you have like the soaking setting, and throw in about a cup of baking soda in there, and it just eliminates the odor. Okay, so I don't actually put this in the dryer. I let everything air dry, and now I'm just going through the tedious task of ironing everything out, because I feel like a nice ironed piece of fabric will kind of help me see what I have to work with, and also help me remove all the stitches a lot easier. So the first thing I'm going to tackle is the bodice, and for that I'm going to use the taffeta dress here, and what I'm doing is I'm just removing all of the sewn on crystals that's at the front neckline of this dress, which is amazing because I ended up getting like a small little amount that could equate to like $5 or maybe even $12 worth of crystals if you were to just buy at a craft store. So boom, right there, that's $12 that I just saved. Okay, next up I am gonna go into the dress, and this is the back seam of the dress here, and I carefully remove the thread of the back seam, and I'm just gonna remove the skirt away from the bodice, and then I carefully remove the inner lining of the skirt away from the outer shell of the skirt. And since I was very careful with how I was removing the threads, I was able to take the zipper out completely intact, which means I saved like $4 on buying a zipper. So I do know how to technically pattern my own garments and stuff. I feel like the store-bought ones, like there's way too many lines and words, and my ADHD brain cannot handle that, and so I like to just pattern my own stuff. So right here I am trying to create the sleeve for the dress, and it's just going to be a big puffy sleeve, and it's really easy. I'm just going to make it a little bit longer than it should be, and then I'm just going to gather it so it'll create that puff, especially on something like taffeta. For the bodice, I'm going to keep it really simple, just a tank, and then the back is going to be the same thing, except there's an extra inch in the center so that I can add Velcro. I know for sure that I want the bodice to be made out of the taffeta skirt, so I take one half of the taffeta skirt and I cut out the bodice. And then I'm just gonna put that baby together, sew up the side seams, and then the shoulders. I feel like a bodice is like the easiest thing you can put together. So normally when I'm cutting out my patterns, I would just double up on everything, right? But since we are limited in space here, I have to cut everything out individually just to make sure that I'm not wasting any inch of the fabric. Okay, so now we are going to dissect the second piece, which is this beautiful charmeuse skirt here. And underneath this skirt, there's also a lining layer, which is amazing. So what I love about this skirt is the waistband. It is about 3/4 of an inch, and I decided that, you know, I'm going to use that for the binding of the sleeves. Also, along with the skirt, I want to add another tulle layer, but on top underneath the half skirt. And Grudy is a huge fan of tulle. So every time she sees anything with tulle on it, she's like absolutely in love. And so I wanted to incorporate that into the dress. And I cannot tell you how much I vividly despise cutting tulle. It is probably the most finicky, the worst. Just, I don't like it. But you know what? For the love of my daughter, I will do that. So I just measure it out how many layers I want, which sucks because when you work with tulle, you have to do a couple layers. And then I fold, pin, trim, cut, like all sorts of stuff here. And then here's a random clip of me sewing. As you can see, I'm trying to gather the tulle together, which is not fun, but you know, must be done if I want to add volume to a dress. Around this time right here, I honestly don't even know how many layers to this skirt there is. I want to say there's like 3 layers of tulle, 2 layers of lining, 1 layer of taffeta, and then 1 outer shell. So yeah, quite a few things there. Okay, trying to get all of those layers together and to cooperate is also a pain in the butt because I was not thinking ahead. When I was gathering, I did not make everything even, and so I had to even it out while I was pinning, and then I had to do a huge base stitch, which sucked, and I was able to get everything gathered and very happy about that. Okay, next up, I use more of the ribbon and more of the taffeta fabric because this is going to be the belt that goes in front of the dress, which is going to tie in the back with some more tulle. Because I was bored and I wanted to be extra, I decided, you know, I'm gonna play around with my sewing machine and add kind of like a decorative stitch. So here I am kind of doing this like branchy crisscross like style here, and I don't know, I think it gives the ribbon a little bit more character than just the white ribbon on its own. Okay, so here's the final piece from the thrift shop. It is this top right here, which I think is really pretty. Now the fun part, or not so fun part, is actually going in and like hand cutting every single little one of those things and trying to figure out where I want to place them. I would have to say that the beauty of this top is that it was embroidered onto like a thin netting, so the netting is almost invisible, which is great. So I can cut completely around it without it adding a thicker layer if it was like sewn onto another material. So it was nice that that was the case. Okay, so what I did was I took each one of the embroidery and I would iron it onto a heat bond adhesive. Once that is on the adhesive, I am going to cut around the adhesive. I know it's very tedious. And then once I'm ready, I am just going to peel the paper backing off of the adhesive, and then I place the embroidery on the dress and then I iron that on. This way, I'm not actually hand sewing everything, which is fantastic. So here's a fun little recap of what is left of the dress. Obviously, I still have the bodice, which I am going to use as like a pattern. It doesn't fit me, it's a little small actually, but this is all that's left over, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna use it to make the exact same dress but in a doll form. I figured I was gonna surprise Grudy and make the exact same dress but a mini version for her doll, and then she'll just, you know, get to be so excited. Okay, so once everything is put together, this is the final project. What do you guys think? I am so happy with the way it turned out, and honestly, I had so much fun making this video. I think it really exercised all of my creative juices and allowed me to really think about the resources that I have in my life and the materials that I can reuse instead of going out and constantly buying new stuff. And yeah, I'm just really happy with the way everything turned out. I'm like really extra surprised how the doll dress turned out because I thought that I wasn't gonna have enough fabric, so I'm glad that they're matching and it's just all so cute. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And I really want to do more thrift flip videos because I think that is my jam. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later and I'll catch you in the next video.